Okay, so this is for my geometry students. You should have this worksheet for today, and I'm just going to do a few examples on it just to give you an idea of what some of the answers should be on here. So on number 1, it says tell whether the indicated angles are adjacent. So remember adjacent, and you should be using your notes, right, for this because you had notes that you took for this. But remember adjacent angles, they're angles that are right next to each other, right? So they're going to share a side, and they're going to share a vertex, okay? So, for example, this one right here, BAC, so BAC is right here, and CAD is right here. These two are adjacent because they're right next to each other. They share a side, a ray, and a vertex. So are they adjacent? Yes, they are. We're going to put adjacent. If we look at, let me try to focus this. Oh goodness. Okay. You should be able to do the other two. I'm going to go on to number 4. So on number 4 it says name a pair of complementary angles and a pair of supplementary angles. So remember complementary means they add up to 90. And supplementary means they add up to 180 degrees. So name a pair of complementary and supplementary. So on number 4, let's see. So 55 plus 35, let's see what that makes. So 55 plus 35, that's going to give me 90 degrees. Okay, so that means that since these add up to 90 degrees, they're going to be complementary. So angle QOP and angle ROS are complementary. And supplementary means that it adds up to 180 degrees. So this line, remember, is 180 degrees. So I could say that angle POR is going to add up with ROS to equal 180 degrees. So angle POR, right here, POR, and angle ROS are supplementary because a line adds up to, because a line is 180 degrees. Okay, so you're going to look at these, and similarly you're going to try to find two angles that add up to 90 and two angles that add up to 180. Okay, let's go down here, skip down to 6 through 13. It says angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary angles. Given the measure of angle 1, find angle 2. Okay, so if they're complementary, they add up to 90. So that means I just have to do 90 minus 52 to get my other angle, right? Because if this is a piece of 90, to get my other piece, I would have to subtract from 90. So I'm going to get here, it's going to be 38 degrees, right? That would make sense, yes. Okay, and then you do the same thing for these ones. You're going to subtract those from 90. And then on this one, same thing, but it's supplementary that they're looking for. And they give you the measure of, given the measure of angle, find the measure of angle 2. I think they meant to put 1 here, angle 1. So if angle 1 is 147, what would be the second angle? So we're going to take 180 and subtract 147. give us 3, 7 minus 4 is 3, so 100, no, sorry, just 33, sorry, just 33 degrees. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing on these ones. You're going to put 180 minus something, 180 minus 94, 180 minus 38 to get your answer for these other ones. Okay, and then go back to, or going down to 17 to 24. It says, use the diagram below, tell whether the angles are vertical, linear, pair, or neither. So remember, a linear pair is supplementary, but it's also adjacent. Right, so for example, 1 and 2, these are a linear pair because they're adjacent and they add to 180 degrees. So they make a line, they're adjacent, they add to 180 degrees. That's a linear pair. So we're going to put linear pair. And if you look at 4 and 2, those are vertical, that's not one of them, so let's see. 1 and 3, these share a vertex and their sides make opposite rays, like we did in our notes. So that means that these are vertical angles. I always like to think of it as vertical angles make an X, and the vertical angles are those opposite spaces that's made by the X. 1 and 4, let's see, you can do that one. 1 and 4 again for some reason. 1 and 6. 1 and 6. So these would be neither. 1 and 6 would be neither. Because they don't intersect to make a vertical angle, and they don't share, they're not adjacent to each other and are not supplementary, so 1 and 6 would be neither. Okay, so you got examples of each kind, so you should be able to fill in the rest of that. Okay, I think this is a typo since they did it twice. I'm not sure. So there really isn't that much you have to do there. Okay, so that's that first page. The second one, let's do some examples on this one. So we got angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary angles, and 2 and 3 are supplementary. Given the measure of 1, find 2 and 3. Okay, so 1 and 2 are complementary. So that means if I want to find 2, then all I need to do is subtract 80 from 90, right? Because angle 1 plus angle 2 would equal 90. Supplementary is 180. So I'm going to do 90 minus 80 first. That will give me 10. So angle 2 equals 10 degrees. And then it says that 2 and 3 are supplementary. So if 2 and 3 are supplementary, that means 2 adds up to something to give me 180. It adds up to angle 3 to give me 180. So all I have to do is do 180 minus 10, which will give me 170. So angle 3 equals 170. Sorry, I know it's blurry. So your strategy here is going to be to get angle 2 first by subtracting angle 1 from 90. And then once you have angle 2, then you can use angle 2 to get your supplementary angle by subtracting it from 180. Okay, so you're going to use that same kind of methodology for 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so subtract from 90 first, that'll give you angle 2. Then take that and subtract it from 180. Okay, 5, 6, and 7 says find angle ABC and angle CBD. So if this is 90 degrees, we know that this is also 90 degrees. So all we need to do is add these up to equal 90 and then solve for x. On this one, it's a linear pair, right? So these would add up to 180. So you could put 8x plus 46 plus 5x minus 22 equals 180 and solve for x, right? And then plug back in. We've done this on previous worksheets. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to do this one, number 6. So if I have 5x minus 22 plus 8x plus 46 equals 180, all I'm going to do is I'm going to focus this first. I'm going to combine my like terms, and then I'm going to solve. So I have 5x plus 8x, so that's going to give me 13x. And then I have negative 22 plus 46, so that's going to give me 24. And then I just need to solve it, right, for x. So I'm going to need to get rid of the 24 and the 13, right, if I want to get x by itself on one side. So I'm going to do the opposite of every operation here. So if it's adding 24, I'm going to subtract 24, because you always do the adding subtracting number first. Then I get 13x equals 156 divided by 13. If I had my calculator here, it would be easier, but I'm just going to do that here. So let's see, 156 divided by 13. And once, 2, 6. That's just 2. So it's going to be 12. So x equals 12. But that's not my answer, right? Because I have to find the measure of the two angles. So what I have to do is I got to take the x that I found and then plug it back in to find the actual angle measure. So angle CBA, well, that's going to be 5 times 12 minus 22. So 5 times 12 is 60. 60 minus 22, that would be 8. 5 minus 2 is 3. So 38 degrees. And then if CBA is 38 degrees, I know that this is just going to be 180 minus 38. So this is going to be CBB. So 180 minus 38. Let's see. Would be 2. This would be 4. And 142. So 142 degrees. 142 degrees. You could also have just plugged it in also. Could have done 8 times 12 plus 46, but it just seemed easier to just take 180 and subtract the one that I found. So that seemed to be easier, so I did that. Okay, so that's how you do that. Add them together, equal to 180, solve for x, then plug in to actually find the measures of the angles. Okay, let's move on to the next one, set of ones. So we have tell whether the angles are vertical angles, linear pair, or neither. We already kind of went over that, so you should be able to do that. But I'll just do 1. 1 and 3. 1 and 3, they're not a linear pair. They're not vertical angles, so this would be neither. Okay, and then looking at 13, 14, 15, it says find ABD and DBC. So this is going to be exactly the same as what we did up here. So I'm not going to go over that with you. ABD and CBD. Yep. Our next set of questions here, last set, it says angle A and B are complementary angles. Find angle A and angle B. So this is kind of exactly what you're seeing up here, only they're telling it to you and not, they're not showing you a picture of it. So we got two angles. So I'm just going to draw a picture. So we got two angles. One is 4x plus 34, and then one is x plus 36. And we just got to figure out what those angles are. So this is angle A, this is angle B. Alright, so we're going to add it up to equal 90. X plus 36 plus 4x plus 34 equals 90. We'll combine our like terms. That'll be 5x, and then 36 plus 34, that's going to be 70. Subtract to solve for x here. Rewrite 5x equals 20. 5 by 5. And my x is going to equal 4. But that's not my answer, right? I gotta plug it back in. So 4 plus 36 would be 40. So angle B equals 40. And if B is 40, then angle A must be 50 because they gotta equal 90 together, right? So 90 minus 40 would be 50. But again, if you wanted to put 4 in here and solve it or evaluate it that way, you can do that too. Well, let's just do that. So 4 times 4 is 16, and then 16 plus 34 is going to give you 50. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and let you do the rest of those. Maybe Ms. Pess will let you get into groups maybe for a little bit, not for the whole thing probably, but maybe for a little while she'll let you get in groups and work on that. But that's going to be at Ms. Pessel's discretion, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.